Rugby culminates here at the home of English rugby. I hope you've been abstinent in the build-up because we have an absolute feast of rugby in store for you today, with the women coming up first at 3 p.m. It's Hartpury versus Exeter, southern rivals battling it out for BUCS glory. That will be followed at 5:30 for the men's final, where Hartpury will feature again. Cardiff met their opponents. So it leaves me to introduce today's guest. He is my north, my east, my south, well, my west. Hugo, with 59 caps for Scotland, he is going to be giving some valuable insight on both of today's games. Welcome, Hugo.
Good to be here.
It is good to be here. It's an absolute vibe here. The crowd are nice and noisy. You were here at the women's final last year. What have we got in store today?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it again. Last year's final between Edinburgh and Northumbria was an absolute classic. Edinburgh winning at that time, but those two finalists were beaten in the semi-finals by the two teams out here today, and I'm looking forward to two teams full of internationals.
Yeah, the rivalry couldn't be closer today. Both teams have only lost one game all season, and that is to each other. They finished 1 and 2 in the Southern Conference, level on 45 points, 9 bonus points, and split by virtue of the head-to-head. Now, Hugo, you mentioned, we'll talk about Exeter. We've got a beautiful photo from the Twitter of their jersey presentation from Sam Skinner and Amber Reid earlier in the week. But Exeter, they put out the reigning champions Edinburgh, who was so impressive last season. That's a real statement, isn't it?
Yeah, and on the road as well. To go up to Edinburgh, from Exeter to Edinburgh is a long journey, and 35-15, a real hammering of that Edinburgh side. So they'll come in here with huge optimism. And also, let's not forget, Hartpury have got a team that was playing the semi-finals at the moment of the Tyrrell's 15, Premier 15, and they've got the second leg coming up. So there's girls rested, in the team today. I think Ellie Kildun's on the bench, and Sarah Byrne's going to have to back up 3 games in a week. So it's going to be a tough ask for Hartpury. Exeter probably a bit fresher.
You mentioned the Tyrrell's 15s. Now both sides are littered with Premiership players, and also there's a number of England caps out there. Who are the danger women in both teams today?
Well, I already mentioned Ellie Kildun. She's on the bench for Hartpury today, but Sarah Byrne, the tight head prop too, that featured very prominently in not just in the Tyrrell's 15, Premier 15, but also in the Six Nations for England. And you then got on the Exeter side. The likes of Langi Tuima at fullback, really exciting player, got 5 England caps, and also the scrum half, Katie Mattinson. Those are probably the girls to look out for, and I'm looking forward to a real battle between both sides.
So there's quality all over the park, but it doesn't get bigger than playing at Twickenham. For both sets of players, how do you harness these nerves in a positive way and you don't let them kill your gameplay out there?
Well, as you say, it's just getting the balance right, isn't it? It's the mental side of it. These two sides are both very talented. They've got talent all over throughout the 22, and they've got to make sure that mentally, when they step out on the pitch, that they play with level heads and they play well under pressure. There's a good saying in the past is, thinking under pressure. How do teams respond to the pressures of playing at such an amazing stadium like this? Whoever responds better is going to win the game today.
Now, I mentioned before that they played each other twice, they've won 1 each. Now that was back in October and November, so a lot of time has passed. They're both on massive undefeated runs. So does that form from the past almost go out the window because, they're so buoyant with confidence?
It definitely goes out the window. A one-off game like this it's a one-off game for a reason. It's a cup final for a reason, and it's whoever deals with the pressure best on the day. For me, looking at the two teams, Exeter are fresher with what's going on with Hartpury in the Tyrrell's Premier 15. So for me, Exeter have a slight advantage.
Righto, thank you, Hugo. Well, it's a pressure final, but the riches, oh my goodness, what is on offer is that BUCS glory. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll catch you in 4 minutes. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is reaching fever pitch here at Twickenham for this women's final between Hartpury and Exeter. Now, we're going to be spending the afternoon together, so why not get to know each other? The best way for that is via Twitter, so please use the hashtag BUCSRugbyChamp and send us your views and questions throughout the day. They're in the sheds receiving their final messages, so it's time for me to throw up to Dave Rogers, who's going to talk you through these warrioresses who'll be doing battle today on the pitch. Dave, it's up to you, big boy.
Thank you very much, Joe. It is go time here. The atmosphere seems fantastic pitch side, and it all looks great here from the halfway line as well. Let's take a look at the two teams who are vying for the championship here, starting with Exeter. No fewer than 10 have been involved with Bristol ladies this season, and they start with Jess Thomas, Clara Nielsen and Kaylee Armstrong in the front row. Jenna Claridge and Kirsty Scotter are in the engine room at 4 and 5. Poppy Leach, Izzy Clark and Sian Jeffries making up the back row. Katie Mattinson partners with Kat McNaney as the halfback. Zoe Healy on the left wing. Ebony Jeffries and Hannah Gascoigne are in the centres. Sarah Baggs on the right and Langi Tuima at fullback, their head coach Joe Yap. Hartpury averaging over 68 points a game. Line up with Catherine Buggy, Ellie Gilbert and Sarah Byrne in the front row. Amelia Laverley and Fiona McIntosh at 4 and 5. Shia Pinnock on the blind side. Alice Burtonshaw on the open side. And Charlotte Foe at number 8. Taz Bricknell and Sarah Nicholas at 9 and 10. Kelly Smith at 11. India Babilian at 12. Beth Jones 13. Sophie Tandy 14. And Daisy Fahy at fullback. They're coached by Susie Appleby. Jasmine Jeffries, Janine Stevenson, Yasmin Sewer, Holly Cunningham, Lily Stribling, Tuesday Platt and Sabina Trant, 16 to 22 for Exeter. For Hartpury, Kristen Jones, Abby Castle, Tyler Lewis, Sophie Calpin, Tara Godby, Noosh Gregovich and Ellie Kildunn make up the replacements bench. Well, here come the players. Hartpury finishing top of Premier South with a positive points difference of 674. They're in the red jerseys with the black sleeves. Exeter finished level on points but over 300 points behind, but still clocking up a positive points difference of 313 themselves. Exeter 11 wins on the bounce since that opening day defeat to Hartpury, including Hartpury's only defeat of the season. As for Hartpury, 7 wins on the bounce for them. Both teams have absolutely dominated, putting out last year's finalists in the semi-finals themselves, but only one of them will walk away with the BUCS trophy today. It is the BUCS Rugby Women's Final presented by Yoti, and we are moments away from kick-off here at HQ. Well, joining me for this one is Hugo Southwell. And you've got up from that tunnel in double quick time. You're not even out of breath, but the atmosphere down there seems absolutely fantastic ahead of this one.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm hiding my breath. I'm a bit out of breath. But yeah, no, brilliant down there. And it's great to see these two teams out there. You know, they've been the standout teams this year, finishing on level on points with each other. And after last year, Exeter desperate to get here, and a thoroughly clean performance, a thrashing of Edinburgh away up there last week, 35-15, and they'll be the ones that are buoyant, I feel, going into this game. Hartpury, 3 games in the space of 7 days. It's for some of these players, it's a hard ask, and hence we see a few of them on the bench.
Well, it is a hard ask, and of course you've played on stages like this before at many of the finest stadiums around the world. If you're going to find some energy from somewhere, it's going to be on a day like today in an environment like this.
Yeah, exactly right. They will be so buoyed up by this playing on this sort of stage. It's absolutely brilliant. There's obviously always the customary wait before you get out on the pitch, the shaking of hands, and those players, both sets of players, will be desperate to get out. And as I said downstairs, just get their mindset right. It's so important at this level with teams of similar quality. The team that deals with this sort of pressure on this sort of day best is going to win the game.
Just looking at some of the scores as well, Hartpury have gone over 50 points more times than they haven't this season. However, the last time these two met, Exeter were on top. That was a 22-10 victory. The only time this Hartpury side have tasted defeat this season. What a rivalry to bring to Twickenham.
Yeah, you can't separate these teams, whatever way you look at it. Past matches, recent performances, it is so tightly matched, and that's what makes it even more exciting. And that's why I say it's all about the mentality. It's all about thinking clearly under pressure in every single situation. And the side that gets off to the best start, that's going to prove crucial as well.
Well, Hartpury in your shots there. And there are Exeter in those famous white and green hoops. So many times, both in the men's and women's competition, they've graced this Twickenham stage, but they really do have a challenge on their hands today. Hartpury have gone over 100 points twice this season. There's the man in charge for this one. It's a big day, not just for the players, but for the officials as well. And there's a small but very vocal crowd of supporters over on the far side as well. The BUCS women's final presented by Yoti. Exeter will get us underway. Langi Tuima wearing 15 to kick off. They'll be attacking the try line to the right hand side of your pitch. Hartpury receiving the first kick off in the red jerseys, attacking the try line away to your left, and straight away Exeter getting their hands on the ball. That one knocked on, so Exeter will have the first attack of the match. Moving the ball out to the right hand side, crunching tackle there by India Babillion. Got her first full Wales cap in 2017. That's the captain, Clara Nielsen, the hooker, bringing Exeter up towards the 22. Kirsty Scotter. Kat McNaney waits. Bit of a loose pass, that's been hacked through by Hartpury, but Exeter managed to recycle it.
Yeah, you can see the line speed, that's exactly what's created the penalty there. The line speed from Hartpury really getting up in the Exeter player's face, forcing the error, and then on the floor, forcing the penalty out of Exeter, holding on. First blood to Hartpury.
Have a chat with 2 red, timing on tackles, last one was 5, that was 50-50.
Well, the first penalty in touch has been missed. A few nervous moments from Hartpury. First of all, the knock-on from their first possession. And then Daisy Fahy missing touch with the penalty.
Yeah, you have to say, there's one place you don't want to get a penalty, is right in the middle of the pitch. It's a long way, bigger pitch than usual, and it's a long way to each touchline.
Another loose pass from Exeter, and Hartpury can get hands on that. Kelly Smith takes them up to the 22 for the first time in the match. Sarah Byrne brought down a metre short. What a charge there from the prop forward. Big opportunity now for Hartpury, and they'll score. Fiona McIntosh goes over in the corner. The first visit to the 22 for Hartpury yields a 5-pointer.
And exactly the start Hartpury wanted, and what a run that was by Sarah Byrne. She's been a standout in this England setup throughout the Six Nations, and for Hartpury in the Tyrrell's Premier 15, and there she was, just bursting through. And what a finish in the corner, just use the numbers out wide. In the end, an easy finish.
It was a beautiful flat pass from the fullback Fahy. McIntosh stayed strong, went over the top of the defender, and Hartpury lead 5-0 inside the first 3 minutes.
And what an initial break that was. That really did set things off. But again, you look back at where it's come from. It's come from, first of all, a mistake, a penalty on halfway. They missed touch. Exeter then give the ball back again. They've got to hold on to ball better, keep possession.
And a good strike on the conversion, but just pulled, so it remains 5-0. And a dream start for Hartpury, but a difficult one for Exeter as well. The smallest of mistakes pounced upon there.
Yeah, and it's interesting to note there is space out there for Exeter. You can see in the wide channels, if they get that second pass to stick out in the wide channels, there's opportunities, but instead being forced into mistakes from this Hartpury defence.
Langi Tuima gets us back underway. Deep restart into the 22, making Hartpury go the long way. Boot to ball to clear once again. Tuima waits, fields the kick, looks for options before skipping around the first tackle, and that's a dangerous offload out the back door, but Sarah Baggs takes Exeter back up towards the halfway line. 4 minutes gone of this BUCS women's final, presented by Yoti. Ebony Jeffries goes through the gap but doesn't take the ball with her. Jess Thomas puts the head down, takes Exeter back into the Hartpury half. Show and go from Tuima. Manages to get the offload away, and Jeffries finds the ground once again. This time they put boot to ball. There's a little bit of space on the left-hand side, but that's well covered and well gathered over on the left-hand side. Hartpury coming forward with intent. Excellent handoff from Fahy. Manages to keep the ball in as well. Has that gone forward? No, says the referee, but yes, brings them back eventually.
Yeah, great initial break from Fahy. A bit of a weak kick there from Langi Tuima. She's standing in the 10 channel quite a bit there, just trying to offer a threat as well, but a poor kick. Finally, you've got to find turf in those situations. She didn't do that, and a really good opportunity for Daisy Fahy to make some good yards. Unfortunately, a slight knock on in the 5 metre channel.
And Daisy Fahy, very dangerous counter runner. Scored a try in the semi-final. Started against her former club Cheltenham Tigers in the Women's Senior Cup at the weekend as well. As you mentioned, a very busy schedule for a lot of these Hartpury players, not just involved with this Hartpury BUCS side, but various levels of the Gloucester Hartpury Women's Tyrrell's Premier 15s team as well, who of course finished 4th in the division, but were very much put to the sword by Saracens this weekend. So first look at the set piece. That's gone forward off Taz Bricknell.
That's really good there. Go back, knock on.
Yeah, you can just see there Taz Bricknell as she went to come around the fringes to put pressure on Katie Mattinson. She just got a hand on it. A little tip and a knock on, and we go again. Scrum number 2 in the same spot.
Well, Katie Mattinson, the Exeter scrum half, she's hoping for 3rd time lucky after losing in the last 2 finals with Northumbria. Here come Exeter now. McNaney on the wraparound, and they get it out to the left-hand side. Zoe Healy going round the outside towards the 22. First time Exeter have gone around Hartpury using that pace of Healy. And this time Poppy Leach. Round 1, and it's all square. Well, Daisy Fahy got her feet in the wrong position there, and Poppy Leach almost walked around to Exeter 5, Hartpury 5.
And brilliant awareness from Poppy Leach then. It all came from the break in the wide channel from Zoe Healy initially. But look at this. The defence thinks she's put down, thinks she's held the tackle, but she's not. She gets back, and look at this, the dummy and then the fend. And that is how to finish in the corner.
Well, what a response from Exeter. They made this mistake that led to the Hartpury try. And Poppy Leach involved with the Bristol ladies setup. Tackle incomplete, and she took full advantage. It's Hartpury 5, Exeter 5.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want when you've gone down from your own errors, unforced errors from Exeter early in the game. They've gone 5-0 down and suddenly straight back into the game. It's a sign of a real quality side, and a chance here for Langi Tuima to stretch it to 7-5.
A difficult conversion for over on the right hand side. The spectators behind her are going to get a great view of this. And the flags stay down. 8.5 minutes gone and we're all square. Exeter 5, Hartpury 5.
And it's certainly living up to the expectations as we see Poppy Leach again. Look at that, just awareness that she's not held in the tackle, doesn't need to release the ball. The dummy there, I think that's just too high from Daisy Fahey. We've seen her in attack, but there was weak in defence.
Well, if we get to have another look at that at some point, Daisy Fahey was expecting the tackle to be made on Poppy Leach. She was actually adjusting her hair, not expecting to make the tackle. And Leach took full advantage, walking around Fahey. Brilliant finish from the England number 6.
You can see the confidence, can't you, from this Exeter? As soon as they've scored the try, just the levels have just gone up a bit. They got their exit play. They decided not to kick, just to play it out of their own half, and they got their just rewards there. Penalty and a chance to get deep into this Hartpury half.
Well, Tuima finds touch. And even before they conceded the try, Exeter, they looked confident. They looked like they wanted to play the game the right way. And often when you concede a try thanks to a mistake, that can change the way you play, but certainly not in the case of this Exeter side as we approach 10 minutes of this first half gone.
Yeah, and there's certainly a common theme through the Exeter teams, whether it's the men's team, university team, whether it's the Exeter Chiefs. Obviously Keith Fleming has a big part to play in that. He's involved in all three, and you can see the way they try and play. They try and play the fast, offloading, continuity game, and when it goes wrong, it looks quite, as if it's a bit loose, but when it goes right, it's lethal.
Well, Hartpury got a hand on that line out, but Clara Nielsen made up for the loose throw. Armstrong. There's Leach, the try scorer, getting her hands on it once again. And again, she's not happy to be tackled, looking to make some more yards, but look at that from Sarah Byrne, rushing out of the defensive line to make the tackle on Scotter. McNaney. Gascoigne checks inside. Still going forward here. She's made 6 or 7 metres after the initial contact. There's Leach again, trying to put through the gap. Exeter straight back up towards the 22 here against Hartpury, who are struggling to get their hands on the ball. Leach again. What a busy ball carrier she is from 6. Mattinson has to dig for it. Has Scotter waiting. She gets the offload away. 20 metres out now, Exeter. Sian Jeffries from 8 makes another handy metre. It's Scotter calling for support. Jeffries goes crashing into the defenders. Just 10 metres short now, Exeter. It's Claridge. Ball's gone loose, but backwards, says the referee. McNaney. Sarah Byrne told to release it. Leach going again. What a powerhouse. 4 metres short now, Exeter. They've got 2 on the right hand side. McNaney's one of them. She wanders to the left, waiting at first receiver, but Exeter keeping it tight. Leach again. Interesting to see if she can keep up this level for the entire match. Coming up to 13 minutes here. Exeter camped on the Hartpury line, and the referee brings them back. Relentless pressure from Exeter at the moment.
Poppy Leach, take a bow. I think I counted 7 carries in those phases of play. Apps offering herself at every single opportunity, making yards at every single opportunity. It's great to watch. And we said about their continuity game, well, that just summed it up to a T. I think they went through about 13 or 14 phases, maybe more, just kept hold of the ball, and it's very relentless. It's one-way traffic at the moment from Exeter.
Scrum 5, Exeter put in. Sian Jeffries waits at 8. It's being pushed back by Hartpury though. Have they turned this one against the head? Yes, they have. And Charlotte Foe goes. What a moment to come up with a scrum like that. Not a lot on that box kick though, and Tuima can counter-attack. Decent chase from Hartpury, takes Exeter back outside the 22. Leach again, in at first receiver, takes 2 defenders to bring her down. McNaney. That was Nielsen, the hooker. Good defensive line speed from Hartpury once again. Jeffries puts Tuima through the gap, steps past one, gets the offload away. Oh, try-saving tackle from Hartpury. Gascoigne was the one that was brought down, but they go back for the penalty.
And that really was absolute class in midfield. Tuima just showing exactly what she's all about. First, the brilliant short line and the support play as well there from Gascoigne. Or was it Ebony Jeffries? Gascoigne, I think. But brilliant work from the outside backs and an opportunity, an easy, simple chance to get it to 8-5.
First quarter, mate, this advisory red creepy a little bit offside. Just have a look. Just guards.
Well, the referee just instructing his assistants there to have a word with Hartpury with regards to the penalties. Tuima missed with her first kick at goal, but this one a lot simpler. 10 or 12 metres out, bang in front of the sticks. And with 15 minutes gone, this could give Exeter the lead for the first time in this final. And a lead that they're good for as well.
Yeah, fully deserved so far. They really have. In the last 10 minutes, the game started slowly. First 5 minutes were all Hartpury, but then Exeter have come onto their game. And as you say, it should be regulation for her.
Up go the flags. And it's Exeter 8, Hartpury 5. I think it's important in a match like this as well, whenever you get a scoring opportunity, if you can leave the 22 with some points, then that's exactly what you should do.
Yeah, and when you've got the class of players like Tuima, Gascoigne, you know, they've just got the ability throughout the side, throughout the 15. We've already mentioned Poppy Leach. She is popping up, excuse the pun, all over the place, and it's great to see from Exeter so far.
And that was not going to go 10. Another mistake from Hartpury. It was Sophie Tandy who was penalised for the high tackle. I think it was one of those ones where she just had to make the tackle.
Yeah, you felt that Hannah Gascoigne would have been over for a try if she hadn't. So, another mistake there we've just seen from the kick-off. You just don't want to compound error after error. We talked about pressure of playing in a stadium like this, a situation like this. If you get into too many mistakes, error on error, it can really start to mount up.
From Exeter's perspective though, you have to think that Hartpury are going to have a phase of play in this game where they're dominant, so Exeter really need to take full advantage of this as Hartpury's scrum once again puts the pressure on. Tuima throws the dummy, gets around a couple of tackles. Shia Pinnock eventually brings her down. Nielsen up the blind side. Mattinson finds McNaney. Kaylee Armstrong bursts through the tackles. Taz Bicknell eventually makes it, but they're back up towards the 22 here, Exeter. And that's another penalty, and a silly one from Hartpury.
Yeah, and you can't do that. You can't play the 9 when she's picking the ball up at the back there. It was Taz Bicknell there who conceded the penalty, and again, another unforced error. You've just worked so hard in defence to hold them out after a brilliant break from Kaylee Armstrong. Fended off the first and managed to stay on her feet for about 10-15 metres. But interesting decision here, going to the corner.
Well, another penalty and another touch missed. It's a long way, as you mentioned, Hugo, from the middle of the park. This time it's Exeter give away the penalty, and a bit of a let-off there for Hartpury.
Yeah, I thought it was lucky. The referee, you could hear clearly, said let go 13. Obviously just a bit fraction too long. The ruck had formed and no hands in the ruck.
And this time Hartpury do make sure. I think they'll just be relieved to have some pressure here. 18 minutes gone on our clock in this BUCS Women's Rugby Final presented by Yoti. Hartpury opened the score in Macintosh in the first couple of minutes, but since then it's been all Exeter. A Leach try went unconverted, and Tuima kicked the penalty from under the sticks. It's an overthrow from Hartpury and not straight either.
And again, just when you think they're going to get out of their half, just when you think they're going to build a platform, they make another error. Not straight in the line out. Just going back to that kick from Tuima from the middle of the pitch, a very interesting decision. Yes, she didn't want to go for goal because maybe it's slightly too far out. But then to go for the corner, why not take a scrum? Midfield, really difficult place to defend, options to attack either side, and with the threats that they have in their outside back, surely that would have been the better option.
Well, Hartpury have made a change at full-back. Daisy Fahy having a breather. But it's all about Exeter at the moment. Kat McNaney on the wraparound as they send Tuima crashing through two defenders once again. McNaney. Shia Pinnock makes the tackle. She's been busy in defence for Hartpury in these opening 20 minutes. Leach once again. Just can't wait to get her hands on the ball in the loose. Oh, fumble and grab there by Kaylee Armstrong. She just overran it. Did well in the end. Mattinson digs once again. McNaney. Tuima in at second receiver. Bit lateral for Exeter at the moment. McNaney. Leach dummies and she's driven forward by Jess Thomas. McNaney puts her head down and takes Exeter back to the edge of the 22. This time Sian Jeffries goes. She had Ebony Jeffries outside her. Leach just tries to put the quick hands on it and Sarah Baggs knocks that one on. Hartpury with their hands back on the ball, but again deep inside their own 22. Tackle made by Izzy Clark. Well, they've kicked the advantage away there. It's been dropped by Baggs, but backwards. It's a good tackle by Kelly Smith. And it's been knocked on in the contact zone as well.
Yeah, that was much better. Really good kick chase. Just a little fumble from Exeter there, and good kick chase, good tackle, forced the error on the floor, and it's given them another opportunity, another platform to just clear their lines. They've just been playing the last 10-15 minutes camped inside their own half, and you'd have to say they'd be pretty happy to be only 8-5 down.
Well, in terms of scoring, Hartpury have been pretty relentless this season, averaging over 68 points per match. Quite phenomenal, really. However, when Exeter were victorious, they limited them to just 10. But with so much firepower in the arsenal, I feel as though it's a case of when as opposed to if. But for that, they need the ball. And here they go now. It opens up for Hartpury. Looking for the pass off the left hand. Tuima just does enough to temporarily stem the flow, but surely this will be the score that puts Hartpury back into the lead. And that is how quickly it can turn around here at Twickenham. Hartpury 10, Exeter 8.
And I think it's a substitute. It's Sophie Kalpin that's just come on as a replacement for Daisy Fahy at fullback, and I tell you what, in midfield they're really slick passing. Just through the dummy runner, up the middle and in behind. The initial break, absolutely outstanding from Kelly Smith. And she just managed to, just real good composure there, just didn't panic on the floor, just held onto it long enough. And it looks like it's, I think it's Sophie Kalpin, the replacement, who came on and finished it off.
Kalpin, the Canadian, with her first touch, really. But Kelly Smith, as you mentioned, the composure, as soon as she went through the gap, ball in two hands, looking for options both ways. Tuima acted as more of a speed bump. And here's the captain, Nicholas, from in front of the sticks to make it 12-8. Drills it through the uprights. And with 24 minutes gone, somehow Hartpury find themselves in the lead.
Yeah, again, a sign of a quality side. You see here the composure from Kelly Smith. Really good defence from Exeter, just blocking the passing line. But then, on the floor, head up. And there was Kaplan just to finish it off. But what impressed me was the line that was run, the dummy line that sucked in 2 defenders for Kelly Smith to get out and find the gap round the back.
Sarah Baggs was the unlucky one, just slipping as she was due to make the tackle, and there's Kalpin straight back on it, darting into the contact zone. Approaching 25 minutes gone. Now Hartpury starting to try and free the hands in the tackle as well. Beth Jones in the contact zone. A little dab in behind. No left winger at home, and Kalpin manages to get her hands on that. What a live wire she's been since coming on. And Hartpury now playing with the confidence we've come to expect from them. Catherine Buggy presents the ball. Crossfield kick, looking for Tandy, who goes up for the catch, but that's a brilliant take by Zoe Healy. Well, sometimes wingers come up with those important plays. Potential try-saving take there from Healy. And Exeter back on the ball on the halfway line. Jess Thomas in that scrum cap puts her head down, gets back over halfway. Again, not the cleverest of kicks. An easy one for Sophie Kalpin. Gets the offload away to Kelly Smith. Got an Exeter player who stayed down just out of your shot after making that tackle as well. Well, there are numbers on the right-hand side if Hartpury can get the ball there. Oh, another good offload, and Zoe Healy gets handed off. Hartpury flying back into the 22. So much more purpose in their play now. Nicholas gets the pass away. Gilbert. Oh, Kalpin again. That's not the easiest of passes for her to deal with from Sarah Byrne. Alice Burtonshaw. Nicholas, the captain. Charlotte Foe. She's made 15 metres almost by accident there. Exeter scrambling defenders to the left-hand side, so Hartpury have to step inside, 5 metres short. Barreling, crunching run from Sarah Byrne. It was her run, of course, that led to the first try.
Yeah, that really was. They've taken it quickly, and what an easy try in the end. But the build-up play to that was absolutely outstanding. There's something about this Hartpury side that when they click, their passing, their skill set, and their ability to just lift the speed of their game is absolutely outstanding. And from nowhere, we're at 17-8.
Well, the referee has blown the whistle, and look how quick this is. Taz Bricknell finds the captain, Sarah Nicholas, who crashes through. Exeter were flat-footed, they weren't expecting that, and now they're 9 points behind. 3 tries for Hartpury. And given the fact that they've spent more than half of this match the second best side, Sarah Nicholas, the skipper, to make it 19. And that one hits the post and stays out. I think Exeter just need to find a way to get their hands back on the ball.
Yeah, and I said they'd be pleased to be only 8-5 down at the time. Hartpury, suddenly they're 17-8 up, and just the awareness and just brilliant play from Sarah Nichols. You can see a lot of these guys, they play a lot of games together, just the reading of the game, the awareness that she was going to take it quickly, and how they've just sped up the game. I think ever since Sophie Halpin's come on, the games just seem to have lifted for Hartpury, and I think she's brought a real buzz, and it's rubbed off on the rest of her players.
Approaching 29 minutes in this BUCS Women's Rugby Final presented by Yoti. Hartpury, quite fantastic response since going behind, now leads 17-8. Tries from McIntosh, Calpin and Nicholas, nullifying that Leach try and that Tuima penalty. Leach again rushing out of the line, but she misses the tackle this time. Coming up to the half an hour mark here. This, of course, the first game of 2 here at Twickenham.
Yeah, let's not remember how quickly this game's turned and how quickly with a side like Exeter it can flip on its head again. I don't think Exeter have done a lot wrong, to be honest. I think Hartpury have just upped their game, upped the tempo, and really come into this final in the last 15 minutes and or even 10 minutes, and it's really taken Exeter. It's given them a bit of a shock.
Well, in terms of their game plan, though, Exeter now know if they make a mistake, that's it. It's going to be punished. And they've had a lot of possession, a lot of positives, but they need to turn those positives into points because they trail here. And a better scrum from Exeter. McNaney manages to recover, but Hartpury swarm around her. And that much better from the base of the breakdown though. It's Jess Thomas up to the 10-metre line. The scrum half looked right and realised she had to go left then. Not many options. Kat McNaney puts her head down once again. She's taken a lot of ball on from outside half as Kat McNaney.
Yeah, but again, just going back to that scrum, just little moments. The chance was there. The pass from 9 from Katie Mattinson just wasn't quite good enough behind her fly half, Kat McNaney, and they didn't quite get the opportunity because there was actually an extra number that they had committed. Taz Bricknell around the fringes. She had been sucked in by the pass. Just wasn't quite up to the skill set that we've seen so far from this Hartpury side.
Tuima finds touch this time. So Exeter with the line out, 25 metres from the try line.
And you feel it's a big moment in the game here. 10 minutes to go to half time. Real sort of pressure for Exeter to be the next side to score here.
Jenna Claridge with a clean take in the middle of the line. Goes to ground pretty quickly, 20 metres short. Exeter forward through Nielsen. Not brought down again. Big numbers. Izzy Clark goes forward this time. Pretty much all of the pack gathered around that breakdown. Sian Jeffries adding her weight to Clara Nielsen. 5 metres short, 3 to the left and 3 to the right for Exeter, but they keep it narrow through the forwards. McNaney waits at first receiver, but Jess Thomas goes. The post's now in shot. Clara Nielsen again. And there goes Leach for the line. Oh, great tackle from Hartpury, and they've got hands on it to turn it over as well. Leach committed everything to it and she got turned, and Hartpury survived.
And for me, that was an illegal effort from the defence from Hartpury there. Just lying as soon as Leach went for the line. She got compromised in the tackle, but the Hartpury players just dived all over it.
Well, Exeter have turned it over again and applying pressure once more. Mattinson waits. Oh, crunching tackle there. Sarah Byrne with another try saver. Desperately close now for Exeter. somehow stopped short once again. Got Holly Cunningham wearing 19, the substitute, dive for the line, and that's a second score. Well, the pressure telling eventually for Exeter. Great discipline, so close to the line, and they pulled themselves back into this final, 13-17.
And Zoe Healy really would have been giving our forwards a lot of grief if they hadn't scored there. The numbers were out to the left, 1 or 2 passes, and they would have scored, but they managed to go over there and straight back in the game. We said they needed to score next. They've done exactly that at a crucial time. Can they have the extras to take it just to a 2-point game?
13-17. They scored very different tries to Hartpury, that's for sure. Very impressed with the discipline in the pack, though. So easy to get carried away and lose your patience. They've managed to keep theirs for 2 tries, just 4 points behind, and here's Tuima with the opportunity to cut that gap to 2 points.
Yeah, and as I said, they had the ball turned over in that phase of play and won the ball back. The desperation to get that ball back, to score the try with 6 minutes to go before half time.
And the gap stays at 4 points. Tuima unable to convert.
Yeah, they could prove absolutely crucial, those misses, as we see the try again.
It's Clara Nielsen, the captain, going straight through Amelia Laverley. So difficult to stop a powerful forward from that range, though.
Yeah, especially that low to the ground. Hookers tend to be a bit smaller, really burrowing for the line, and exactly what she did. There was absolutely no stopping her from there, and deservedly they're back in this game now.
Kelpin with the hanging restart that they'll challenge for, and they'll get it back as well. Laverley presents the ball, and Catherine Buggy burrows forward. It's Nicholas going to spread the ball out. Wingers coming in looking for work as well. It spits out the back, and Hartpury having to do some clean-up work. Nicholas again. Flat pass for Byrne to run onto. What a weapon she is in broken play. Smashing through tackles into the 22, Sarah Byrne. Putting some footwork on and taking Hartpury to within 12 metres. All the numbers on the right-hand side. Not the cleanest of passes. Laverley has to do some clean-up work. She gets the offload away to Gilbert. Oh, beautiful hands here from Hartpury. So difficult to stop when in full flow. Oh, that's been knocked on, dropped. That's been dropped by Nicholas at the key moment. And that's a real let-off for Exeter.
Yeah, it's such a key moment in the game as well. Just looking at the clock there, 37 minutes, 3 minutes to go. They've got to clear the lines. They've got to get their exit plays right here.
Well, another try there would have made life very difficult for Exeter indeed. As it happens, they now have the opportunity to clear their lines, but Hartpury really putting the pressure on from the scrum, so Sian Jeffries has to go from the base. Ably backed up by the back row as Jess Thomas puts her head down. What a ball carrier she's been. Just 18 years of age, had only just turned 18 when she made her Premier 15s debut as well. Anna Gascoigne with a good chase on the kick, not allowing Hartpury to get up ahead of steam. A couple of minutes to go before half-time, and Exeter win the penalty for holding on.
And that is exactly what they needed. The prime example of how to turn a bad kick, a slice kick from Tuima there, into a better kick by the kick chase. Really did well. That Gascoigne got up well, put the Hartpury player, opposition player on the floor, and they've got an opportunity now at this crucial period just to get the ball off the field.
Tuima finds touch, and Exeter will have the last attack of the half. And they'd love to get a score here.
Yeah, it's all about just keeping hold of the ball now. Just really, we talked about the continuity, the way they like to play the game. Just hold on to the ball, try and force another penalty, get the ball into the corner again and play that power game.
Had a look at the supporters there. Oh, and they've lost the line out. And instead it's Hartpury who come forward, back up over the halfway line. What a time to make a mistake like that, but Hartpury again able to turn defence into attack so quickly. Step inside there from India Burbillion. Welsh international gets them back up over halfway. Sarah Nicholas is Kelpin. A little dab inside to Jake. She's going to get on the end of her own kick. Puts her boot to it again, but that's got into the hands of Kelly Smith, who's going to race clear. And when it goes your way, it goes your way. Hartpury 22, Exeter 13, and a hammer blow for Exeter.
That is a killer blow just on the stroke of half time. It's a line out, 30 metres out from Exeter. The overthrow, the possession turned over, and a bit of a bounce of the ball. Luck that's gone in Kelly Smith's favour. You can see gets kicked against Noema here. Doesn't know much of what's happening, and it bounces up to Kelly Smith, and the one person you want on the end of it is her. She's got serious wheels, and that is very disappointing for Exeter just on the stroke of half time.
Well, huge credit to Hartpury. They have punished every mistake that Exeter have made, and sometimes you get a little bit of luck in a final. And Kelly Smith took full advantage.
Yeah, and you can see why they score so many points. Just their ability to turn defence into attack with the passing game, their skill set, and that extra bit of pace. And we've seen Sophie Halpin bring it, Kelly Smith. It's really exciting to watch.
Here's Nicholas to add the extras. Again, drags that one wide. And that brings us to half-time. Hartpury with 4 tries lead Exeter 22 points to 13. Exeter 13, Hartpury 22 here at Twickenham. We'll be back with Joe Burns after the break.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this BUCS Women's Final here at Twickenham, and it's a tense one. Hartpury, they got off to a dream start, but Exeter fought back and got themselves right back into the game with a bit of clinical play. They lead 22-13 at the half-time break. Now, I'm really lucky to introduce my special guest at half-time. Here's Amber Reid, 49 caps for England, Exeter alumni, so she does bleed green, but she's going to give us a very balanced opinion on the action that we just saw. So, first things first, high quality final.
Yeah, it's definitely starting to hot up towards the end of this first half, and it took about 20 minutes for Hartpury to really get into it, and Exeter had the run and the play at the start of the game, but yeah, it's definitely turning into a tense one.
Well, disastrous start for Exeter, but you couldn't ask for much more from Hartpury. We've got a highlight of their opening try in the left corner from Fiona McIntosh. What happened here, Amber? Ooh.
So this is the Exeter, I think, second try. So Fords had a bit of a rumble, kept possession really well, and eventually kind of broke that Gloucester line.
Well, yeah, so this try had a very Exeter Chiefs nature to it. Is that the kind of structure that the girls are looking to play?
I think Exeter forward pack definitely have the dominance in this one at the moment. Every time they seem to get their hands on the ball, they're making yards. So it just made sense for them to keep it hold, almost Chiefs-esque, as you said, and go over for that try. Okay,
well, we are now going to look at that Hartpury try that I mentioned before. Got a little bit mixed up on the replays there. Here we go. Is the opening minutes, and great start for Hartpury.
Yeah, definitely. Great break there. Lots of pace and power from Sarah Byrne, breaking a couple of tackles, which Exeter will be disappointed with. But just that pressure, once you're in behind, do really well, spread the ball wide, and just not enough defenders out there in that channel. Yeah, Exeter seem to be falling off a few tackles. Is that a concern for them at half-time? I think it'll be something that they need to address going into that second half, especially with the ball carriers that Hartpury have got. If you chop them down early, then it'll break a lot of momentum, and Exeter will get back in the game. So first person there just needs to take it upon themselves to make that tackle, and I think Exeter will find it a little bit easier. Okay, as you said, Exeter came fighting back immediately, and Poppy Leach, she's been an absolute superstar thus far in the first half for you guys. Yeah, she's an absolute workhorse. I have the pleasure of playing with her at Bristol, and yeah, she just finds a gap through the middle of that ruck there, leaves a few Hartpury defenders left on the floor, and yeah, uses a dummy really well and goes over. Yeah, there's a couple of times actually that she's been taken to ground and then hasn't been held in the tackle, got back up and charged on. Is that typical of her? It's just really smart play. I think she's just identifying it well, and if she's not held on the ground, you still have full rights to keep going, and the kind of defenders are left wondering, so she's done very well there. Okay, well, I mentioned how clinical Hartpury have been, and here they've got a break on the outside, wonderful tackle from your fullback Tuima, but then great offload play and continuity. Every time that Hartpury made it into the 22, they pretty much scored. Yeah, Ellie Kildunn's come on for them, early substitution there from Gloucester, but she's definitely added a little bit of spark and a little bit of intensity in this Hartpury side. Fantastic break there, just found a massive gap in that Exeter defence and just really kept her composure, kept hold of the ball, and Ellie runs a great support line, and she's been fantastic all season, so she's going to finish off from there. So she's a danger woman to watch out for in the second half for sure. Well, you mentioned Bristol, Gloucester, Hartpury. A lot of the girls from each team playing with each other. I mean, does that make things a little bit more spicy as well out there? I think the nature of the women's game, there's a lot of players that you play alongside or play against week in, week out, but definitely it'll be the Exeter Hartpury rivalry that's out there on the pitch, and those will be firing the girls up to play in the second half. So they should have known better than to be napping 5 metres out for the quick tap that saw Sarah Nicholas go over. Yeah, really smart play. Gloucester just look a little bit more aware of what's going on, a little bit reacting a little bit better, and just kept Exeter napping there, and yeah, really smart play. Okay, well, we've seen this try already. Clara Nilsson rumbling over. Great little bit of consistency, battling on, getting across the line. Those screams everybody you can hear in the background is the Exeter team coming out. That's one thing I've got to say. It feels like an Exeter home game almost, with how vociferous your support is. Yeah, the Exeter crowd are fantastic. They're right here down by the tunnel, and they're definitely making their presence known. Okay, right. We're going to have to throw back up to commentary shortly, but let's keep it brief. How do Hartpury close this out? How do Exeter come back and steal it from them? I think Gloucester Hartpury just have to keep being clinical with the chances they get in. Exeter, if they don't fall off the tackles, it's going to make it really hard for this Hartpury side to get anywhere. So Exeter defensively just need to get on the game. Gloucester Hartpury keep doing more of the same. Brilliant, thank you so much for joining us, Amber. Awesome to have you on the programme. Guys, terrific second half up in store for you. Dave Rogers is going to call the last 40.
Thank you very much, Joe. All to play for here, but you feel as though if Exeter are going to get anything from this, they need to get the first try of the second half. Hartpury to get us underway for this second stanza. And considering they spent so much time on the back foot, they really have taken advantage of every opportunity.
Yeah, they really have, and you know, a good start again from Hartpury. Exeter, we've said before, Exeter had to be, when they were down, the first team to score after that try from Hartpury. Again, we say the same now. At 22-13, you feel if Hartpury score first, this game could start to run away from this Exeter team.
Well, Beth Jones with a good carry there. Taz Bricknell going for the gap herself, and Sarah Nicholas taking over. Ellie Gilbert driven back. Exeter have made a couple of substitutions. Janine Stevenson's come on, we're in number 17, but it's all Hartpury at the moment after recovering that kick-off. Advantage coming for the knock-on as well. Exeter trying to force something, but making the mistake in the process. Nicholas. Tackle made by Poppy Leach. Well, a composed start to this second period for Hartpury. There's Calpin into the 22, dancing out of tackles again. She finds the ground, both second rowers, Laverley and McIntosh, make their way over in support. Sarah Nicholas, she'll be out of this attack. Another dart there, this time by Shia Pinnock. India Babyllion limps back into the action. Has that gone forward? Yes, says the referee. Babyllion spent quite a long time down getting medical attention there. She's back on her feet, but she does look uncomfortable, hobbling back into position out of your shot. But Exeter in your shot with a lot of defending to do there in those opening couple of minutes.
Yeah, and really good discipline in defence from Exeter. They didn't dive into the breakdown, didn't send too many numbers in, and what that did, it asked Exeter to beat this. Asked Hartpury to beat this Exeter defence one-on-one. They weren't going to go around them; they had to go through them, and very, very good defensive set from Exeter to start this second half.
Well, as you mentioned, if Hartpury score first in the second half, there's the danger that they could disappear out of sight, and it looked for all the world like they were going to there. Huge credit to Exeter. However, they just look like they can attack from all over. And as you mentioned, since Sophie Calpin's come on, she's made a huge difference to giving that attacking impetus.
Yeah, it just rubbed off on the other players, and you know, I think they've been expertly led by Sarah Byrne in terms of the power she's brought in the forward. I mean, every time she gets the ball, she is unstoppable. It looks as if she's telling herself, right, I'm desperate to make 20, 30 yards. So,
well, Babyllion is limping off. Calpin has gone into the centres, and Daisy Fahy is back on at fullback. She, of course, started the match at 15.
And let's not forget, they have Ellie Kildunn on the bench as well. Looks as if, you know, she's one of their star players. Looks as if they're resting her for next week or for this weekend's game, return fixture against Saracen. So, you know, quality all over the park for Hartpury.
First look at the set piece in the second half. Hartpury scrum perhaps on top in the first. Sian Jeffries goes, seeks the contact. The big contact it was, bang on the 22, 4 minutes of the second half gone. Tuima slices that kick. Oh, that's been knocked on. It was quite an orthodox knock on as well. It looked like the ball was in the control of Ellie Gilbert, but a momentary lapse, and Exeter have made 20 metres.
I think it was Sarah Byrne, in fact, who got herself back there. And you don't see many props back there taking the high ball, but she was, and that's the first mistake I can count from her. She's been absolutely brilliant for this Hartpury side. But another chance here, left-hand scrum, always a good opportunity. As you see the scrum half from Hartpury, Taz Bricknell has to defend on the blind side, so you're always going to have the extra number out wide to open. Can they execute it?
And it goes from Mattinson. McNaney, full backline outside, and he fumbles it herself, but Chuima's available on the wraparound. Up to the halfway line now, Exeter. Nielsen, the captain, goes head over heels in the contact. It's better from Exeter. Jenna Claridge there in support. That one extra pass makes the 5 metres. Exeter through Poppy Leach. Real linchpin of that attack for Exeter is the number 6. Inside pass to Holly Cunningham. The substitute wearing 19, up over 10 metres. It's better from Exeter. Played most of their good rugby when they've gone through the phases, but then a mistake like that and it's all undone.
Yeah, and this is where they're dangerous, isn't it, Hartpury? Just 2 passes here. If they can get it away into the outside channels, they are lethal. Oh, just a pass fraction in front of Kelly Smith out there, and the chance goes begging, but that's the chance. Those are the opportunities that Hartpury are trying to take as the referee goes back for the scrum.
Well, they look to attack from absolutely everywhere, Hartpury. They scored their opening try from a similar mistake from Exeter. And that's a sign of a good instinctual side, isn't it? You get the ball in the midfield straight up. You look for your options, you try and go forward.
Yeah, coaches always say if you turn the ball over, it's either 2 passes or get the ball in behind, because obviously the defence of the opposition is up flat. And this time a mistake from Hartpury.
Hannah Gascoigne hacks it forward, but it hasn't gone Exeter's way. But Hartpury with some defending to do now. Well, certainly some clearing of their lines, but here goes Calpin trying to get around the outside. She has her shirt snagged there by Zoe Healy, who's done some good work in defence on that left wing. Healy for Exeter. But here come Hartpury once more. Nicholas passing off the right hand. Faye was up there in the line as well. As Kelly Smith goes around the outside. Worrying times again for Exeter, and Tuima makes the tackle, an important tackle too. It's spat out the side. And Exeter, have they turned this one over? No, they've given away the penalty.
Yeah, you could see there. Couldn't quite say. I think it might have been Tuima, was it? Someone came in the side as they went to clear the ruck out illegally. I think Tuima was lucky there as well, because from the break it looked like she stuck out her left foot. Whether it was accidental, I don't think she did it on purpose, but the referee could have easily called it for a trip, but she did get her down. And a chance here, another chance for Hartpury, 10 metres out. This is worrying times for Exeter.
Any mistake Exeter make is being punished at the moment. They're back in their 22. 8 minutes gone of the second half here in this BUCS Women's Rugby Final presented by Yoti.
Just going back to that, Zoe Healy, did really well on this near touchline to get Sophie Halpin. So you just feel at the moment things are just starting to go as we see the drive starting to go for Hartpury here.
Well, it finds the deck. Bricknell waits. Here's Nicholas out to Beth Jones, who attacks the line. She's brought down by both centres, Jeffries and Gascoigne. Nielsen trying to get hands on that.
The referee's playing advantage for the collapsed maul. You could see there they were under pressure. The drive was on. It was a really good setup from the Hartpury forwards, and there the referee gives the signal of pulling down, and you would have thought after that last one straight to the corner again.
You notice how quickly Exeter were in position after they were punished in the first half from Hartpury's quick tap when Nicholas crashed over.
You feel this is an absolute must now for Exeter. Defensive line out, just get themselves in position. They have to stop Hartpury from scoring here, otherwise I feel the game could be slipping away from them.
Well, the line-out throw was loose and Exeter have got their hands on it. The ball bounced forward there, but the referee happy enough that it was legally done by Exeter as we approach 10 minutes of the second half. Still no score, which means Hartpury still good for their 9-point lead here in this Twickenham final. Kaylee Armstrong Slow ball for Exeter. And Hartpury happy to let them get the hard yards inside their own 22. Mattinson puts boot to ball, that's straight out, and Exeter back under pressure.
You feel at the moment Exeter just holding on. They really are holding on. One thing to note in University Rugby, both the men's and the women's game, is that momentum shifts do happen very, very quickly. And Exeter have just got to believe. They've got to believe that if they hold them out here, Hartpury, they can go up the other end and score, and suddenly the momentum shifts again. We've seen it already in this game. We've seen it throughout the season. This game is far from over, but the next score is absolutely crucial.
And also so difficult when you're deep inside your 22 if you don't have a 50 or 60 yard out from the right boot, which so many of the men's teams have.
Yeah, and on such a big pitch as well, it's very difficult to get the ball off the field.
Again, a mistake at the line out though, and Exeter have turned the ball over. It was unorthodox, but they're still inside their 22. That one's off a red hand, and they're not making it easy for themselves, Exeter, but they are hanging on, and they'll have the throw in at the line out.
Yeah, as she went to clear the ball there from the base of the ruck, one of her own players just got in front of her, didn't allow her the time to get the ball where she wanted to, but here's another chance. They have to get a clean line out here, just get the ball up somewhere near the halfway line and ask Hartpury some questions.
Hartpury with much taller lock forwards, been able to cause a little bit of havoc on that Exeter throw in, but that better this time. Holly Cunningham, England under 20s and Bristol ladies. She's come on as a substitute, and there's an advantage coming here for Exeter.
Yeah, and they would have been looking for that. You can see driving line out, easy ball, free ball from the referee, pulling the line out. Exactly what we saw just a minute ago from Exeter close to their line, but this time the other way around, and you feel Tuima here has to find touch. Don't try and make 30-40 metres, just get it out around the halfway line and start again. And that's exactly what she's done.
Tuima, since missing that touch, has had a trusty right boot. She of course kicked the penalty in the first half that put Exeter into the lead 8-5, but since then they've been chasing the game.
They've done really well to get to where they are now. 3-4 phases later, you know, they were, let's not forget, 2 or 3 minutes ago, it was a 5 metre line out to that Hartpury side.
They secure the line out again. Cunningham has added a little bit of security to that set piece ball. Counter drive from Hartpury though, taking them back over the halfway line. Clara Nielsen takes them back into their opponent's half. Oh, lovely ball there from Tuima. Chance for Healy to try and go round the outside, but dragged down. The cover tackle was a good one from Calpin. There's McNaney popping up on the wing. Leach drives over. Mattinson thinks she's spotted a gap there and offloads to Gascoigne. Very warm welcome to some of her fans that are joining us watching in Argentina. It's Cunningham. This better from Exeter, 30 metres out, just to the left of the sticks.
Yeah, that really was. Up till here, up till now, so much better from Exeter. The first phase, absolutely crucial. All passes and in front, and the hands from Tuima out to Healy, who nearly got away. They still got possession.
Stevenson. Sean Jeffries is there waiting. When they keep it narrow, they make handy yards, Exeter. 15 metres out now. The backs wait over on the right-hand side. Zoe Healy and Hannah Gascoigne on the blind side. But Mattinson goes open. Good lift from Hartpury, forces McNaney inside. They're doing well to slow the ball down. Hartpury. Approaching 15 minutes of the second half gone. Still no score in this second stanza either. With both teams now have spent time in their opponent's 22.
Yeah, we know how efficient they are at this power game, Exeter. There's only one way they're going here, which is straight up the guts, and doing it very well at the moment. You can see out to the right. if they get the ball quickly away, they've got the likes of Tuima out there, 2 passes, and you feel that they've got space out there as well, but Ford's doing a good job so far.
Armstrong forced wide. Claridge doesn't go. A lot of bodies there at the breakdown for Exeter. Clara Nielsen, the captain, drifts to the right hand side. She's driven forward now by Stevenson. Exeter with real impetus here. Mattinson with her hands on the ball. There are numbers, they just have to get the ball there. Beautiful pass inside, and Gascoigne scores. Well, we've praised Exeter for their patience. Once again, they go through the phases and they make it a 4-point ball game.
And we talked about discipline in defence that they'd shown about 5 minutes ago to hold Hartpury out. I talked about momentum shifts. Well, we've just seen it right there. Suddenly from one end to the other, Exeter hold on to the ball. It started with a break up the left-hand side from Zoe Healy and finished by Gascoigne, and they just picked the perfect time to release it to the backs. The forwards had sucked the Hartpury defence in and the space opened up, and again it was that player there, Noema, just off her shoulder, popping the ball to Gascoigne for an easy run. They were actually quite a good finish in the end with a step on the fullback, but they're back in the game, and who would have thought it? It looked almost over and out.
It's a beautiful pass from Tuima, drew the defender, sent Gascoigne through. Gascoigne, brought up in Barcelona, played Spain age groups, but she's got over the whitewash here at the home of England Rugby to bring Exeter right back into this one. Tuima with the kick to make it a 2-point game. And it just drifts wide.
And just remember, she missed the last one as well. She's missed that one, and they're 2 kicks that with her quality she should have got. It would have been 22 all, but as we look at it, just that delayed pass, you could see that it was almost forced upon her as the defender rushed up onto her, but still you've got to adapt, and the line from Gascoigne to find it between the 2 defenders, brilliant, and a worthy finish for her. She's had a good game.
Well, it was a try for Exeter that really kicked Hartpury into life in the first half. Will we see the same in the second? Exeter 18, Hartpury 22, as we're just short of the hour in this BUCS Women's Rugby Final presented by Yoti. Bit scrappy from the restart, but it's come back Exeter's way. Again, McNaney takes it on herself, can't quite free the hands. Mattinson instructs well from the base of the breakdown, sends her forwards in the right direction. Armstrong with the carry. Tuima looks inside but goes outside. It's a good pickup from Healy, who's had to feed off scraps really, but she's done well once again. That's gone backwards off McNaney, says the referee. Clara Nielsen, the captain, manages to pick the ball up. The Hartpury faithful not particularly happy with that one. Oh, what a crunching tackle that is. Hartpury turning up the temperature in defence.
Looks as if the referee's given a high tackle, I presume there. Quite hard to see what he signalled. Yeah, high tackle there as he signals again. So again, an opportunity, a free opportunity for Exeter clear lines. They weren't really going anywhere, and that's what will frustrate Hartpury. Defensively they were really good in that set, but they've given away a soft one there.
Ebony Jeffries looked quite uncomfortable following that hit as well. Again, Tuima not taking any risks, finding a good touch. With 59 minutes on the clock, this one very much in the balance.
Yeah, it's right in the balance, this game, and sort of expected it. They both finished on equal points in the regular season, despite Hartpury winning it, so it was always going to go down to the wire. I wonder whether the freshness in the last 20 minutes of this Exeter side, we haven't had to compete on every front, will tell.
Well, Hartpury stolen that one out the line out. What Exeter have done well is been able to go through the phases and starve Hartpury of possession. However, every time they do get their hands on the ball, they look dangerous, and they're sweeping through the gaps once again. Beth Jones over the 10-metre line, wrestled to the ground by Zoe Healy. Oh, Babyllion gets the hands away. Sophie Tandy into the 22, around the fullback, and Hartpury under the sticks once again. Sophie Tandy with the finish, and they make it look so easy.
It's almost like when they need to go up a gear, they do exactly that. Down the short side, had absolutely no right to go through, but the offload out the back door, couldn't quite see who it was there on the floor, but a great offload out the back. And an easy finish in the end for a winger of her quality, Sophie Tandy. And suddenly from nowhere we think Exeter are back in the game. It shifts again, and Hartpury back out to a 9-point lead.
Well, they say styles make matches, and we have got two completely different outfits here. The powerful pack and the composure of Exeter, so effective. But there is nothing you can do to defend against a team that can counter-attack like Hartpury.
Yeah, Hartpury can score from anywhere. I mean, we've seen they've scored from 60 metres, they've scored from 40 metres, they've scored from 5 metres. They have got the complete all-round game, and at the moment, when they need to, they just turn it on.
Nicholas from under the sticks. Oh, that's been charged down. Tuima gets hands on that. And those are the kind of moments that can really fire a team up.
Yeah, that's crucial. I mean, the game would have been taken to 11 points, and then obviously, you know, it's only 9 points now, so 2 tries without the conversions. We've seen that Tuima's missed a few kicks, so just 2 tries would do it now, and we've seen how quickly both these sides can score them, so they're still in this.
Well, Langi Tuima almost making up for missing that conversion by charging one down herself. Sabina Trant, wearing 22, has come onto the field of play for Exeter. We are at the hour mark here in this BUCS Women's Rugby Final presented by Yoti. Hartpury lead by 12. They crash the ball forward once more. Babyllion seems to have shaken off that knock. Certainly didn't look affected by it there. Clever little kick in behind, but Exeter managed to recover. Tuima, a loose kick from her.
Yeah, that really was the wrong option from Tuima. She'd done all the hard work. Her teammates had worked so hard to get the ball back, and she just tried the absolute miracle kick, and never going to come off in those tight spaces.
Hartpury going in search of that 6th try. He's helping at the left-hand side. Gets the offload away as well. Janine Stevenson has to make the tackle. They just seem to be able to make 20 metres a lot quicker than Hartpury can, as Stevenson makes another crunching hit from 17.
It's just the extra bit of pace that they've got across the team. You know, the injection of pace. They've even got it with Sarah Byrne as well at prop. So it's quite daunting to see when you get Sophie Halpin and the likes of Kelly Smith as well, really injecting that pace for this Hartpury side.
Burtonshaw there on the inside ball. It's Hartpury tuck and go. Kelly Smith's in there, most of the numbers to the left-hand side, but they go right. Burtonshaw once again gets driven backward, but presents the ball well. Bricknell finds Nicholas. Nicholas again, has that gone forward? Yes, says the referee. But a few times where the 10s have just had one eye perhaps on the rush defence and taken their eye off the ball.
Yeah, and you can hear the call coming from the sideline every time there's a breakdown. When the ball gets slowed up from Keith Fleming, he's shouting hammer, hammer, which means the forwards around the breakdown just get up and put pressure on the 10. And that's helped, that really helped there. And Sarah Nicholas, obviously he, as you say, took her eye off the ball, saw the defence coming at her, and exactly what Exeter needed. Just need to turn the ball over, need to get their hands back on the ball with only 15 minutes to go. Remember, they need 2 tries to regain the lead.
Mattinson Still in search for a first BUCS victory. 2 defeats in the Northumbria jersey, and Hartpury flying through their scrum there, but they managed to get the ball away. Zoe Healy off her left wing at first receiver, looking for some work. Mattinson again, having a dig for it. Jenna Claridge, the Welsh second rower. This time Exeter with the inside ball to Tuima. Just it looked like they were going to whip it wide. They've not really been able to get the ball as wide as they'd have liked to. McNaney again, thanks to that quick Hartpury lift and taking the ball flat, has to take it on herself. It's Jasmine Jeffries, the Canadian. Sian Jeffries' twin. She's come on in this second half. Former soccer player from Vancouver. This time, a couple of missed tackles in midfield for Hartpury, but Exeter not really able to put their foot on the gas and get away. Patience has been the call of the day throughout for Exeter.
You see that Hartpury defence is living on the edge. It's just creepy a couple of times. Referee has got to keep a close eye on that. They look slightly offside at the breakdown. It's proving difficult to break down. They're not committing anyone to the breakdown. They're making the tackle and they're just fanning out across the pitch and relying on their one-on-one tackles.
Stevenson. Well, Exeter on the wraparound. Those one-on-one tackles working well so far as McNaney takes the contact again. Healy taking the ball a little bit flat-footed, tackled by Beth Jones. Again, McNaney tucks and goes. But Exeter win the penalty.
You have to give credit to Exeter there. They were going absolutely nowhere. They've gone through probably 10, 12 phases, gone side to side, but they've managed to maintain possession. And what that's meant is it's pressurised Hartpury into lying over the ball, conceding a penalty, and it gives Tuima an opportunity just to pump this down, probably to the 22, she would hope, and another good attacking platform.
Well, the way they've made a match of it really is by playing mistake-free rugby. There aren't many teams I've watched this season who've been able to go through the phases the way Exeter have. Very often when you're not going forward, that's when the frustration creeps in. But there's no sign of this from the green and whites.
No, and they'll be looking to do that in these areas of the pitch now. Now they've got the territory, they've earned it from playing good rugby in the middle third. Now they're deep into the red zone, as we call it, or they're getting near to it. They have to do the same. Keep hold of the ball and force the errors out of this Hartpury defence.
Good line-out ball once again, but Hartpury finding the drive, the advantage coming though, and again Hartpury opening the door for Exeter here.
Yeah, we know how strong their driving line-out game is. This is all about the kick from Tuima. Can she just put it 5-10 metres out and just say to her forwards, the angle's going to help as the referee brings it in 15, but say to her forwards, right, you just go and do the job now. We will be in for a classic if they can sneak a try in the next couple of minutes. And she's done exactly that. It's probably 10 metres out, maybe 15. But a real opportunity here for Exeter, not Exeter Chiefs, Exeter University.
Exeter back into the 22. They're trailing Hartpury 18 points to 27. It's been a fascinating final here. Hartpury, the favourites going into it, but Exeter have raised their game for Twickenham. They set the drive. Another advantage coming. That's the second in quick succession. And you have to feel as though the referee might be thinking about taking further action here. And there's Tuima hitting the line but brought down well. 15 metres short under the sticks. Good quick ball for Exeter as well. The inside ball to Leach. Suggestion of a high tackle, but the referee says no, and he's in a good position. Again, Exeter go wide to the right hand side. A race for the corner, a great tackle, and the offload's away. We've not seen Exeter put a lot of width on it in this match. Now they're 5 metres short, with a score that would bring them right back into the final. Leach once again. It's been a bit quieter in the second half, but her work rate's been phenomenal. There's Stevenson, and we thought the referee would take further action, and he has.
And that is absolutely crucial. 70 minutes. He has brought the yellow card out, which means, and it's Sarah Byrne as well, they're one of their star players today, and what that means is that they will play the rest of the game with 14. So if Exeter can sneak a try here and get within a score, it really is going to make for an exciting finish.
Well, you feel as though they have to get something here. Tuima dabs for the corner. Sarah Byrne, she's been so dangerous from both the set piece and in open play, but she's sent to the bin.
Let's not forget as well, it's 8 on 7 now in the forwards, and we've already seen Hartpury having to commit the penalty, and both times off the driving line out, you sense here the referee could lose his patience even further if they commit again. Oh, good smart play that is.
Well, they're going for the line and they're dragged out, so Hartpury doing incredibly well there. We thought the patience of them all would be the way they went, but instead they found Sian Jeffries. It was a training ground play, didn't come off on this occasion.
Yeah, you sense that she just had to go for the corner. She should have backed herself. She had a bit of space, just dived for the corner, but instead she came back on the inside, allowed the defence to on the inside to drift across and drive her to touch, and the chance, has it gone? Well, let's see what happens to this line out here.
Well, Exeter have got hands on that, they've turned it over. Well, massive moments here at Twickenham. Patience required for the green and whites. Clara Nielsen, driven forward by Stevenson. Leach goes. It's a little bit lateral, and a great tackle coming in there from Hartpury to take Exeter back to 5 metres short. Jasmine Jeffries is tackled. The post's well in sight here as Sian Jeffries is taken sideways. Hartpury answering all the questions they're being asked so far. Stevenson takes Exeter to within 2 metres. Bags of space out on the left hand side, but they're queuing up on the right. Advantage coming once again for Exeter. Surely it's coming. The referee taking a very, very good look at this. Diving for the line, and the try's been awarded. Clara Nielsen hits the base of the post. That's her second of the match, and it's Exeter 23, Hartpury 27.
And that is exactly the person you want in that position. We saw in the first half, around the fringes of the breakdown, very good at sniping under people's feet, and exactly, say, really good awareness, knowing she was near the post on the left-hand side. And as we all know, if you touch the ball down against the base of the post, that is a try, and the referee spots it. And what a game on we have here. We already picked it up a couple of minutes ago and said if they scored, it was going to make for a classic. Remember, Hartpury have 14 ladies on the pitch.
Tuima with the kick to take it to a 2-point ball game, which of course would bring them to within 1 penalty. She converts it. It's 25-27.
And just when they needed it to slot that over, she's done exactly that. And what a ball game we have here. And it's proved exactly how we said at the beginning of the game. It was going to be tight. It was going to come down to the wire. And that's exactly what's happened.
Well, we talked about 2 scores. A penalty or a drop goal would do it here for Exeter. But despite being down to 14, Hartpury still dangerous all over the paddock. And in about 2 minutes' time, I'm going to ask you for a player of the match as well. Good luck with that one.
As soon as I name it, the other side's going to win the game. So
Poppy Leach, surely a candidate. There was the attempt at the rip there from Kristin Jones as well. She's come on as a front row substitute. There's the pressure from Hartpury. The ball goes to ground, but the referee says it's been knocked backwards. And again, Exeter win the penalty. Well, Hartpury's discipline really costing them here. They still have the scoreboard on their side.
And everything's starting to go in the favour. It's just the little decisions for Exeter at the moment, just rolling their way. And another chance for Tuima just to get that distance up the pitch and create a platform. And this is going to really test this Hartpury side. It's going to show what they're all about, more the mental side than anything else, and obviously the fitness as well. You know, we've had a really tough game, a lot of the physical side of it, a good running game to it as well. So a real test for this Hartpury defence now.
Well, our clock has ticked over 75 minutes, but we're not linked in with the referee. The official clock inside the venue says 33 minutes, so 7 minutes officially remaining of this BUCS rugby final presented by Yoti. And Exeter in the ascendancy. They trail by 2, but Hartpury still have 4.5 minutes with 14 players on the park. And once again, this Exeter pack piling on the pressure.
And one thing they can't afford to do here is give away another penalty. They could go down to 13, but also the kick to the corner would mean an easy option for 5-metre driving line out. So real discipline here from Hartpury.
Exeter back up to the 22. You can see how physically tired some of those players are. Another penalty coming as well. Poppy Leach drives into the 22. On the wraparound, Tuima through the gap. She's crashed through a few times in the second half. Much better quick ball here. McNaney goes alone, dragged down by Tandy. Sabina Trant trying to make things happen, but again we go back for the penalty.
And what do you do here? You've got a shot at goal. Oh, it's a bit too far out to the right. I thought he was going to come, the referee, in front of the post, and then you have to go for goal. But here now, with 15 against 14, with 8 against 7, they will go to the corner again. And if Tuima can put this very close, 5 metres out, you'd have to back Exeter with their driving line out.
Well, Exeter haven't led in this match since Tuima kicked the penalty from under the sticks to make it 8 points to 5. There was a time where it looked as though Hartpury were going to disappear out of sight, but Exeter's discipline have kept them in this match, and now they have a phenomenal opportunity to take the lead here in this BUCS Rugby Women's Final. First job done, they've secured the line out, now they set the drive.
Yeah, very sensible front of the line out. Not always easy to drive from there, but with their power, they've got the shift drive on, and here we go.
4 metres short. And the advantage coming once again. Hartpury cannot hang with this Exeter pack. They're going towards the line. They're a metre short. They're stopped short. Remember, the advantage is still coming, and Hartpury still down to 14 players. McNaney, oh, it's been knocked on. We'll go back for the penalty. Mattinson desperate to go quickly, but I'm not sure that's the wisest of options.
And still on the stadium clock, still 4.5 minutes to go, so still plenty of time, not just for Exeter to score, but also, I would have thought, for Hartpury as well.
Well, the referee has gone to his pocket once again, and Hartpury are down to 13.
And you'd have to say now there's real advantage to Exeter for this driving line out. You would think they're going to have to put Hartpury, one of the backs, into the forwards just to give that extra player.
Well, first things first, they have to win this line out. Holly Cunningham waits there at the front. She goes up. Hartpury don't even contest. And it's gone to ground, but legally this time. Exeter set up once again. There goes Clara Nielsen. She's on a hat-trick, remember. 2 tries for her. She turns to present the ball. Stevenson adds her weight once again. She's been a great support since she's come on in the forward pack. Just over 3 minutes of this one remaining. Exeter desperately close. The referee taking a good look once again. Well, that's Exeter over the line, but driven backwards. Sarah Nicholas making the tackle. Oh, they scored! That's a hat-trick for the captain, Clara Nielsen. Surely wins it for Exeter. It's 30-27. Hartpury down to 14. And the captain has come up with the goods. 3 tries on the biggest of stages.
And you will not see 3 tries of exactly the same. 2 meters out, 1 meter out. She has made a name for herself with a pick and go around the fringes, and that's her hat-trick. And what a kick this is now. We've seen a couple of misses from Tuima, but this is vitally important. This just stretches out. This means that Hartpury would have to score a try, even just to level the scores.
Well, while Tuima waits, I'm going to ask you for your player of the match.
I have to say, a lot of these players for Exeter have really stood up, and they've really been asked questions behind, because they've been behind in long periods of this game. I think Poppy Leach had a good first half. She's been a bit quiet in the second half, but for me, it's the lady who's taking the kick at goal, who's been involved in a lot of what was being good about this Exeter side. Yes, across the board for me they've played really well, but for me, Langi Tuima is the player of the match.
Well, a huge congratulations to her. This the kick to make it a 5-point ball game. It hits the post and it goes over. It's Exeter 32, Hartpury 27. There's just over a minute remaining on the game clock. Hartpury are down to 14 and they need a try to get themselves back into this one. It's a huge ask, but if there's any team in this competition that can do it, they're wearing red and black. And that's a great start as well.
What a kick-off that is, and it's given them an opportunity. Perfect kick, perfectly weighted, and this is last chance saloon for Hartpury.
Well, they have dominated this level. They've lost just 1 match all season. It was to Exeter, but they have been rampant. They've averaged over 68 points a game. They've scored 5 tries here today, but kicks have let them down and they trail by an unconverted score.
Just 30 seconds to go now. If there are any mistakes here in the championship, the BUCS Super Final would go to this Exeter side. Huge 20 seconds to go.
Kelly Smith with the carry. Hartpury have hardly seen the ball since Exeter have turned the screw. Exeter just calling the numbers out. Hartpury did so well to rely on their one-on-one tackling. Now it's Exeter's turn. 25 metres to go between Hartpury and the line. There's Sarah Nicholas. Calpin tries to free the hands. She does so. Oh, what a finish to this final. Kelly Smith. There's Nicholas once again. Catherine Buggy driven backwards. Massive tackle. Nicholas once again. Babillion steps inside, tackled by Hannah Gascoigne. Here goes Beth Jones. Oh, what a crunching tackle that is. That line in your shot is the 22. The clock is now red. These are the final throws of this final. Exeter need to get their hands on the ball. Hartpury need to get over the whitewash. And Catherine Buggy stayed down following that, and the referee has stopped this one as the ball was going back towards the breakdown, back towards the injury. Oh, drama.
That is a huge moment, because it looked as if they'd created the space out to the left for Kelly Smith. There's one player you want, we said it in the first half, Kelly Smith, and so did Sophie Halpin on the end of the ball. But the referee's going to reset. There was an injury there and they have to stop it, but it's going to be a reset scrum, I think, in midfield. So one last opportunity for Hartpury. What a game we've had here today. It really sets things up, and even the possibility with a try and then the conversion missed of a draw.
Well, the crowds have been absolutely fantastic here. Small but vocal. We're about as far away as we can be from them here at Twickenham, but we can certainly hear them. Big day for Hartpury, of course. The men's team taking on Cardiff Met in the final a little bit later on, and if that is even half the game this has been, then it'll be a thrilling day here at HQ.
Oh, it started absolutely superbly. What a game. These two teams have put on a real masterclass. You know, there's quality players out there. We expected to see a good game, but for it to be this close and for it to ebb and flow so much, absolutely brilliant to watch. And as you say, the men's final to come at 5:30. Two brilliant teams again in Hartpury and Cardiff met.
And a penny for the thoughts of those Exeter players. Trailed for so long in this match, grafted their way into it, and now they lead. The clock is red. The play currently stopped for an injury to Catherine Buggy. And if Hartpury can come back, having had 2 players sent to the bin, what a remarkable victory that would turn out to be.
And you have to think that actually setting the scrum is better for Exeter. They've got a chance. You know, what they were scrambling there, you could see as the phases went, as the ball got quicker, they were really struggling to keep up with the pace of this Hartpury attack, and now they get to refocus. They know this is the one last effort for them. Get their defence right, get that first line of defence, the first tackles right, and the championship could be theirs.
Well, 10 tries the teams have shared. We thought kicks might come into it. Remember, Tuima, the player of the match, should I say, she missed a couple of conversions, but then charged down that Sarah Nicholas attempt. And we thought that might reignite Exeter, and that's exactly what it did.
Yeah, and you have to give this Exeter team credit, you know, to hang in there. They looked down and out, I think 10-15 minutes into the second half. They were trailing by 9, and it really did seem as if they didn't quite have the impetus to get back into it. It's exactly what they've done, and the last 20 minutes, the last 15 minutes of this match, when they needed to get it right, they showed their qualities.
There's been a real captain's knock from Clara Nielsen as well. We talk about the discipline in the pack. She's been in the right place at the right time. A hat-trick of tries for her.
Yeah, you talk about character in teams, and we've seen that in abundance, both sides to be honest, but from where Exeter were, and let's not forget, there's still one last roll of the dice here, one last play.
A Hartpury with the set scrum. It's allowed Exeter to reset their defence, but backs on backs, plenty of space there for Hartpury.
Yeah, just look on the left as well. You've got both the speedsters, Sophie Halpin and Kelly Smith, and that's exactly where they're going.
Here is Halpin, puts the step on. Exeter get there in numbers. Now Hartpury have the full width to attack. Nicholas waits and receives the ball. That's a short ball. Nicholas back into position. Exeter defending for their lives. Again, the ball comes for Hartpury. Crashing out of the line, but getting the hands away. Desperate stuff here. Katie Mattinson makes the tackle. Sarah Nicholas finds the second rower, Fiona McIntosh. If the ball goes dead, the game is over. But Hartpury managed to keep it in. Crashing through this time, Sarah Byrne. Out of the sim bin and back into the action. Well, massive space and numbers on the left-hand side. If Hartpury can get the ball there, Exeter really scrambling. It's got to go through the hands here for Hartpury. Massive tackle, trying to drag the ball towards the touchline, but it still stays in. The referee keeping Exeter onside. The drama still not over here at Twickenham. Exeter 32, Hartpury 27. It's gone forward. It's been turned over. And it's back with Hartpury. Well, just when you thought it was over. The offload coming. Now Hartpury with space to run into. Sophie Tandy for the corner. She scores. And it's 32-32. Well, Twickenham has produced an absolute classic. Hartpury, down and out, have managed to turn this one around and we're all square.
I'll tell you what was really interesting. The referee had his arm out, which looked like for a penalty. Exeter then turned it over, but then lost it again, so the referee didn't give the penalty. And so he's allowed Hartpury to play on. And 32-all, a kick to win the game from the touchline. Who would have guessed it?
Well, this, the kick to win it, otherwise we go to extra time. Two halves of 10 minutes, unless Sophie Halpin can split the uprights.
That's a big ask, really, isn't it? Wrong side of the pitch, but she has been the player that's lifted this Hartpury side.
For the win then, she swings a right boot at it and it drifts across the face. And the referee's whistle goes. They can't be separated after 80 minutes. So we go to extra time. Exeter 32, Hartpury 32. A stunning 80 minutes. And hardly time to breathe here. Well, what do Exeter do now?
Oh, absolutely gutting for Exeter. They're going to have to regroup now. You can see coaches come in, the players gather around. But that is absolutely heartbreaking, right at the death. These two teams couldn't be separated in the regular season. They can't be separated again after 80 minutes. 32 apiece as we go into the 10 minutes of extra time each way.
Well, Hartpury took the lead through McIntosh and Exeter struck straight back through Leach. Tuima, the player of the match, kicked them into the lead 8-5, and then Hartpury just took control. They led 22-13 at the break, and then when Tandy went over, it looked as though it was over for Exeter. But they grafted, they were disciplined, they went through the phases, they piled the pressure on Hartpury. The pack turned the screw. Hartpury had two players sent to the bin, and when they went over with moments to go to make it 32-27, they had one hand on the trophy. Hartpury, however, do not know when they're beaten. It doesn't matter what level it's at, they are competitive. And Tandy, with the last play of the game, made it 32 apiece. The kick was missed by Halpin. So we go to two 10-minute periods of extra time. There's a twist in the tail here, but it is impossible to know which way it's going.
It is impossible to know which way it's going, and you know, we've seen shifts all throughout the game of momentum. You almost feel both sides need to start afresh, but with Sarah Byrne, you've got to feel for her. She's played 80 minutes against Saracens in the Tyrrell's Premier 15. She's now played, yes, she was with Simbin, but she's going to play almost 100 minutes or 90 minutes in this game, and potentially again on Saturday. It's a huge ask for some of these players. Have they got the fitness? Have they got just the desire at a place like this at Twickenham in such an amazing stadium, just to give it one last 20-minute push for that championship?
Well, if you're watching at home, let us know what you think. BUCS Rugby Champ is the hashtag. Join the conversation. Let us know what you think of this one, and of course let us know your thoughts ahead of the men's final that's coming up straight after this one, where Hartpury will take on Cardiff Met to see who will be the BUCS Super Rugby champions. Well, there are Exeter and there are Hartpury, two very different styles, but as they say in boxing, styles make fights. And it's hard to believe that one of these teams are going to have to pick themselves up off the canvas to win this.
Yeah, it's amazing to think as well the way that Exeter played. I mean, they started the game very brightly, offloading, trying to go wide, and obviously a few mistakes crept into their games. They went back to tight, they went back to their tight game, and to score 32 points playing that sort of controlled, forward-orientated game is very impressive.
This is the BUCS Women's Rugby Final presented by Yoti. We're about to get underway with the first period of extra time. Hartpury 32, Exeter 32 after 80 minutes. Hartpury with 6 tries, Exeter with 5. Langi Tuima was awarded the player of the match. Has she got a moment of magic? We've had a hat-trick from Clara Nielsen. We've had tries from all over the park by Hartpury. Hartpury still down to 14 for this first period of extra time. Exeter to get us underway, attacking the try line to your left. Langi Tuima to get us restarted.
It's hard enough really for these players playing 80 minutes, but really now the mental focus has to be on that first score. It'll just give either side such a lift going into these 20 minutes.
And it's been so physical as well. One of these players will need some aspirin tomorrow, I'll tell you that. There's Sarah Byrne getting her first touch of added time. Daisy Fahy trying to dummy through, dragged down by her shirt eventually. Taz Bricknell. Tuima making the tackle. There's an advantage coming there for Hartpury. Suggestion of a high tackle perhaps. There's Burbillion, dummies and goes in that head guard. Tackle made in the centres by Exeter, yet to touch the ball in the opening minute of this period of extra time. Oh, beautiful offload there, taking Hartpury into the Exeter half. There are some tired bodies there in Exeter, not lifting the defensive line at all, just waiting for Hartpury to come on, and that a dangerous game to play. Burbillion picks up the loose ball, gets the pass away, and Poppy Leach comes out of the line this time to make the crunching tackle on the 10-metre line.
Yeah, and it looks like Tuima is limping out here, which is really bad news for Exeter. She looks to be really struggling out on the left-hand side here, and they will not want to lose her.
There's Byrne again, taking 3 defenders with her, including Hannah Gascoigne. Dummy and go again from Fahy. She freed the hands, but no one gambled on the shoulder. Byrne takes the ball going backwards, but gets up speed so quickly. Difficult to know where to tackle her, but Exeter win the penalty.
Yeah, they stayed patient. Exeter missed a few tackles early on, gave the yards to that Hartpury side, but then the turnover there, Sarah Byrne just got a bit isolated. She's almost just ran away from her support there, just with the power and her ability just off the mark to get away from defenders.
If you're a Kelly Smith or a Sophie Tandy though, surely you just take the gamble on Sarah Byrne, because if they go low, then she gets the hands free. If they go high, then she just drags them along with her.
Yeah, and they've got the ability, they've got the players to run off her, as you said, the Kelly Smiths and Sophie Halpin as well. Sophie Tandy, Daisy Fahy as well. There's all these players are really good and adept, and a lot of them play together, not just in this competition, but also in the Tyrrell Premier 15s as well. So real understanding between this squad.
Hartpury contesting at the line-out this time, at Exeter winning it through Cunningham. Excellent substitution that. The Bristol ladies and England under-20 second row are coming on, really shoring up that line-up that struggled at times in the first half. Again, Exeter showing discipline at the breakdown. It goes to ground, so Mattinson steps in. And the dummy from Gascoigne opens up half a yard. She can't take full advantage. Tuima. Exeter now up the left-hand side. McNaney takes it on once again, and here's Sian Jeffries. Oh, massive hit. Kirsty Scotter will feel that one. She presents the ball. Gascoigne finds Healy. Slows down a little bit for Exeter, but they're still on the ball. Janine Stevenson, 30 metres out now, Exeter. Going up the blind side as Nielsen puts her head down and absorbs the contact. And this time Exeter guilty.
And similar to the other end when we saw Exeter turn the ball over, Hartpury stayed patient, stayed disciplined. I was about to say it was really good patience from Exeter. They weren't doing anything flat, just one-out runners, but they were making yards just slowly up the pitch. But unfortunately, just that last phase there, holding on, and this time a chance for Hartpury to clear.
Fahy with the touch finder as we approach the halfway point of this first period of extra time. Exeter 32, Hartpury 32.
Yeah, you just feel both sides are just tightened up a bit. No one wants to give an inch. Everyone's just, the game seems to be being played in the middle third. Just almost waiting for a mistake from each other rather than taking the game by the scruff of the neck themselves.
Ellie Gilbert, the hooker for Hartpury, 19 years of age, involved with the Gloucester Hartpury setup. They've got away with another loose throw there, and that's a fantastic offload off the floor. It's going to be something like that that opens up this period of extra time. Fahy finds Halpin. Oh, big handoff. Hartpury committing bodies to that breakdown. There's McIntosh, scorer of the opening try that seems an eternity ago now, tackled by Armstrong. Oh, that's just gone forward, and Sarah Byrne thought she was through.
She really is some player, isn't she? She's so explosive off the mark. As soon as she gets the ball, yes, a knock on there. It wasn't actually meant for her to pass. I think it was meant for the player inside, but she put her hand up and unfortunately just knocked it on, otherwise she was away again.
Well, just 20 years of age, but already has 20 England caps to her name, 3 tries in that time too. Started as a back row and moved into the front row. And that really is an asset to have that kind of quality and that experience in open play from your front rowers.
Yeah, and you can see why she's been such a success. She's very quick, as you say, for a prop, and having converted from the back row, you can see why.
McNaney has Mattinson on the wraparound, puts boot to ball, clever kick as well to turn the full back and find touch.
That is an absolutely outstanding option. I don't think we've seen, probably from Exeter, I don't think we've seen that once today, and it's just changed it up. Hartpury are expecting, they're flying up in defence, they're expecting to put this Exeter attack under pressure first phase, and they've just changed it up, and again that just shifts the pressure onto Hartpury. Their line out hasn't been great for them, Hartpury. Exeter have stolen a few, especially close to the line, so expect them to put pressure on again here.
Well, their hands on knees here. Are they going to send someone up? Yes, they do. It's loose again, but it comes back Hartpury's way. Going to run the ball from inside their own 22. Kat McNaney puts the hit in. She really does punch above her weight, and there's an advantage coming for Exeter inside the Hartpury 22. They've turned the ball over as well. Big moments here with just over 7.5 minutes of extra time gone.
Yeah, and I think it was the captain again, Clara Nell. She's come up with some huge plays, not only the hat-trick, but in defence there as well.
Poppy Leach up the blind side. Hartpury do bring her down this time. Remember, it was an incomplete tackle that led to her opening score for Exeter. Nielsen's in there, head down, driven forward by Leach, 5 metres short. Sian Jeffries. Oh, what a tackle that is by Byrne.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is exactly where the Exeter forwards want to be, right next to the line. There's only one way they're going with this. They've been so successful up till now. Can they do it again?
The advantage should now be over, but this is where they want to be. Nielsen. Patience of virtue here as the second rowers, Claridge and Scotter, go side by side. They're driven backwards. Leach with her hands on the ball once again. Sian Jeffries is there. Mattinson waits. Holly Cunningham. Now they can go wide. Tuima. It's a little bit scrappy, and Tuima did well to pick up the pieces there. Another penalty for Exeter.
Oh, and they're lucky there for me. That's a deliberate professional foul. It's come in the side, as you say. You've got to take the 3 points. This tight game, ebbing and flowing just before the break of extra time as well. She can play out the clock here, slot this over, and it'll give them confidence going in 3 points. But for me there, the referee maybe bottled it a bit. You know, in extra time, would he have in regular time given that as a yellow card? Blatant professional foul in at the side. Didn't allow Exeter to play the ball out to the left quickly.
Well, what a moment this is. It was a Tuima penalty that kicks Exeter into the lead in the first half. It is now a Tuima penalty that can kick them into the lead in this first half of extra time. And perhaps playing on the referee's mind with the 2 yellow cards that he gave towards the end of the second half.
Yeah, always difficult to hand out another one. And yeah, he's given them the benefit of the doubt, this Hartpury defence. But this is a huge moment. I know it's only 3 points, but it's just the confidence it gives them going into this second half of extra time.
Well, as composed as you like, the referee's whistle goes, and at half time in extra time, it's Exeter 35, Hartpury 32. Well, the team shared 11 points in 80 minutes, but that 10 minutes of extra time, far more attritional, just the 3 points scored. But it's advantage Exeter.
It is advantage Exeter, but we've seen in this game how quickly things change. And I suppose the only thing for Exeter, well, despite having a try scored against them in the last minute, 10 minutes is not very long to hold out. They'll need to keep playing rugby though. What they don't want to do is sit on this 3 point lead, because it is only 3 points. But if they can get the first score, if they can get even a penalty or a try in the second half of extra time, it'll be a long way back from Hartpury after that.
Well, from their perspective, one of the things that they've been able to do particularly well, once they've got the ball, is keep the ball. And with just 10 minutes to go, that could be a real key ingredient.
Yeah, the main thing for them is to get territory in the right areas to be able to do that. There's no good for them keeping ball in their own half. They have to get the ball down there, whether it's through attacking play, whether it's a long kick, get the kick chase right, try and turn the ball over in whatever way they can, and then pressurise by keeping hold of the ball. But they've got to do it in the right areas of the field.
Well, speaking of the kick, it was that lovely little nudge into the 22 from Katie Mattinson that essentially was the difference in that period.
Yeah, and little things like that can just turn games. You know, it was a great option. They've got the balance right in that first half of extra time. They haven't tried to overplay it. They've gone back to their forward-orientated game, pretty direct, mixed it up with a couple of kicks, a couple of nudges in behind, and it's really worked well for them. But as I say, it is only 3 points, and we all know what Hartpury have got in attack.
And as for Hartpury, I think with the amount of options they have, they just have to keep believing.
They have to keep believing. Yeah, I've said it now 3 or 4 times. It is only 3 points, and you know that's nothing in this game. They are capable of scoring 10 points in 2 minutes. This Hartpury side, so they've just got to come out with the same sort of pace, the same sort of aggression and physical ability they had in that first sort of. Well, mainly the first half of the game.
We are back underway. Oh, that's a nasty one. The Hartpury player has come off second best there, but it's the penalty to Exeter.
Yeah, we could have a bit of a delay here. That did look nasty, but from Exeter's point of view, and I hope she's all right there, but from Exeter's point of view, the perfect start for them. You know, an error from Hartpury, a chance for them to regather. I said they need to play in the right areas, where they've got a perfect opportunity now to get the ball inside Hartpury's half and keep hold of the ball and build from there.
Well, anxious moments here but an opportunity for both of the teams to gather their heads perhaps. Hartpury know they're going to have some more defending to do, but Exeter, they'll be thinking, right, let's kick for the corner, let's secure possession.
Yeah, I think they first of all need to make sure, Tuima needs to make sure she finds touch just inside the Hartpury half and just build and just keep hold of possession. You know, it does, the clock does tick pretty quickly. And we're only just into this second half, but first blood in the second half has definitely been to Exeter. They have all the cards at the moment, but a long way to go still.
Exeter 35, Hartpury 22. Exeter thought they'd won it, scoring just before full time, but Hartpury, through Sophie Tandy, scoring at the death. Nicholas had the kick to win it, it drifted across the face, which brought us to extra time. Tuima with the penalty on the stroke of half-time in extra time is what gives Exeter the lead here in this BUCS Rugby Women's Final presented by Yoti. Player of the match, Langi Tuima, finds a steady touch just inside the Hartpury half, and that penalty won straight from the kick-off. The dream start for Exeter.
Yeah, the dream start. She'll be happy with that. She just needs to make sure it went. It's all about that. You've seen that line out happen to the front a lot, but they've got a brilliant drive in more, and they just need to get things set up here. Split off a bit.
Well, Hartpury deciding not to contest that time, having given away multiple penalties and received 2 yellow cards as a result of infringements at the drive.
Yeah, now they have got it set up, and this looks ominous for Hartpury.
Well, they've made 10 metres from halfway to the 10-metre line, and again the advantage coming. Exeter playing top draw cup final rugby here.
And at the moment they are just seeing out the clock with this driving line out. They're getting exactly what they want. They're choosing the right decisions. They're choosing the right options. And here we have it. Langi Tuima, a chance just to nudge them further up the pitch and make it even more difficult. They're going to say to Hartpury, if they do turn over possession, to win this tournament, to win this championship, you've got to score from 80 metres.
Well, Exeter, 11 wins on the bounce since Hartpury, well, destroyed them with the opening game of the season, 57-5. One thing Hartpury have been able to do is really put teams away, but this is the first time they've had questions asked of them in 7 matches. In that 7 matches that they've won in a row, Hartpury, their smallest margin of victory, 34 points to 7, and that was in the semi-final against last year's finalist Northumbria. They've won the ball here, but they beat Loughborough 51-5, Bristol 76-12, Oxford 83-5 and 105-0. But now they need to get their hands on the ball and they need to get on the scoreboard. Otherwise they're leaving Twickenham with a silver medal.
And it looks like Hartpury have brought on their star player, Ellie Kildunn, on the right wing there, just as a sort of a last throw of the dice.
And they've got the ball back. Ellie Kildunn started at full-back in that semi-final defeat to Saracens in the Tyrrell's Premier 15s. She's out here at Twickenham trying to make a difference, because it would be some comeback for Gloucester Hartpury to overturn that 62-0 deficit from the weekend.
It would be a huge comeback, but their thoughts at the moment are on these last 7 minutes. What confidence it would give. A huge boost going into that game against Saracens with a complete shot to nothing. You know, 60 points is it's a big score to overcome. But they've got the opportunity, they've earned the opportunity now to have a shot. They've turned over the line out that Exeter had 5 metres out.
Bricknell with the put in here. 3 minutes gone of the second period of extra time in this BUCS Rugby Women's Final presented by Yoti. It shoots straight out the back. And Bricknell reacts quickly, but that's been dropped. Here's the knock on again. Nielsen picks it up into the 22. Surely a score here would absolutely bury Hartpury. Advantage coming still for Exeter. It's been knocked on again by Hartpury. Mistakes coming at key times. Forwards putting their heads down. Armstrong adding weight there before picking up and going herself, taking them back to the 22. Exeter just slowing it down. Back into the 22 for Exeter. Mattinson to the blind side. McNaney gets the ball on the wraparound. Referee had his arm out again there, but just tucked it in. There's Poppy Leach. Spent so much time in that close contact zone. Fahy rushing out of the line to try and drive Exeter back to try and stem the flow. We're approaching the halfway point of the second period of extra time, and Exeter exactly where they want to be, inside the Hartpury 22. This is what Exeter have been so good at in this match. Keeping it tight, keeping it disciplined. Stevenson, they're bang in front of the sticks, 15 metres short, as Kaylee Armstrong goes to within 8 metres. 2 to the right hand side in the back line for Exeter. They're queuing up on the left, but again it stays narrow. Cunningham. There's Nielsen with hands on the ball, in no hurry at all. Almost ambles into contact. Poppy Leach once again. Exeter just grinding Hartpury down. Nielsen waits. Jeffries drives her forward, 4 metres short. Referee again taking a good look at this. Mattinson waits. She's got Kaylee Armstrong, who stood up in the tackle. And Hartpury survive.
That's exactly what they needed. It was Sarah Byrne. It's when you need your big game players to step up. They needed to turn the ball over. If anything, Exeter weren't really looking like a real threat to the try line, but they've gone quickly here.
Well, Hartpury looking to use the pace. That's what they have in abundance. The set piece has let them down a little bit. Is that a high tackle? No, says the referee. Yes, now he does put his arm out. So advantage coming here for Hartpury.
They almost want to take the penalty, just say to the ref, because if they play out here, they're wasting some precious time unless they go the length.
Well, Kelly Smith has stayed down as a result of that high tackle. 3 minutes remaining. Hartpury needing a score. And they're 60 metres from the line. But more than half a dozen of the 15 on the park have gone in from 60 metres this season alone. Burbillion. She's threatened to break the tackle umpteen times, but has been unable to, as Sarah Byrne goes herself again up over the halfway line. Some of these players absolutely out on their feet, but now it opens up for Hartpury, but the ball goes forward. Surely Calpin runs onto it, but Beth Jones tries to free the hands, and with 2.5 minutes to go, that could have been the chance for Hartpury.
And what a desperate tackle there from Holly Cunningham. Just on the inside, she drifted across. A last gasp tackle. If she had managed to get her hands away there, you suspect they would have been in for a try. But what a tackle. It shows how much this means to every single player on that pitch.
Massive, massive moments. Just over 2 minutes remaining. Scrum here, Exeter put in. I expect Hartpury to turn the screw in this set scrum as well. They've already turned one over in this match. Look at Sarah Byrne trying to G up that forward pack to produce a moment of magic, because that is exactly what they need. Exeter 35, Hartpury 32.
And how cagey is this extra time being in comparison? You mentioned it earlier, 11 tries in the 80 minutes, and since then in the 20 minutes or the 18, 19 minutes we've had, there's been 3 points, neither side wanting to give an edge, wanting to give the opportunity to others. But here it is. You suspect if Exeter can get a clean scrum here and keep hold of the ball, that could be it. And it's already starting to move sideways
In comes the pressure from Hartpury, but Exeter holds strong. Sean Jeffries goes from the base. Makes 6 handy meters, and again, Mattinson just lines up the forwards. Poppy Leach.
Now this is what they would have trained for. You'll just see here the forwards picking and going, or they'll have pods either side of the ruck, so they'll go one way, then back the other, and they'll just keep hold of the ball. They'll play the clock down near the touchline, and as soon as that clock ticks over, they'll boot it into the stands.
1 minute 20 remaining. All Exeter have to do is keep hold of the ball, but it's a lot easier said than done. Leach once again, a remarkable 100 minutes she's had here at HQ. Exeter up over the halfway line. Stevenson waits at the back, steps out to add support to Nielsen.
Sorry, you really do feel that one side in this situation you'd want to have the ball is Exeter to win a game. They are very, very good around the fringes with this forward pack.
Referee tells Exeter to use it. Holly Cunningham, the latest to take the ball. 20 seconds of the match remaining. Byrne trying to add her weight and trying to get hands on that one. Hartpury committing bodies to the breakdown, desperately trying to turn the ball over. Remember, they scored when the clock was red to equalise in 80 minutes to force this extra time, and it's just the Tuima penalty separating the sides. The clock now over 10 minutes. The players drop, ready to kick the ball to touch. And how fitting that it's Tuima that does it. Full time, Exeter 35, Hartpury 32, and those jubilant scenes tell it all. Exeter are the BUCS champions, a classic here at Twickenham.
And huge credit to both sides. You've got to feel sorry for Hartpury, they're out on their feet, but after the heartbreak of Exeter conceding that try in the last minute, to win it like they did by 3 points, what an advert for women's rugby.
Well, it's been a fantastic season for the game, the inaugural season of the Tyrrell's Premier 15s. That reaches its climax. But the two top sides in BUCS have gone toe to toe. They've given it absolutely everything. Exeter were defeated by Hartpury 57-5 in the first match of the season. But that is about as complete and as composed a performance I've seen by a forward pack here at Twickenham.
Yeah, they just knew how to get it done. It's as simple as that. You can see Keith Fleming as he comes onto the pitch, hugs all round. He will be absolutely delighted. He's seen everything in university rugby, and he's helping out Joe Yapp at the moment. He's coaching the forwards. He looks absolutely delighted, and rightly so. But you've got to give both sides. You've got to give credit. You can't take anything away from Hartpury. They brought their A game. It wasn't quite enough, and Exeter knew how to win a game.
Well, what a send-off for the likes of Kayleigh Armstrong, Kirsty Scotter, Poppy Leach, Yasmin Suh, the 4 players pulling on that Exeter jersey for the final time. But moving forward for Exeter to have 18 of those 22 with another year at least to go playing for Exeter University, the signs are good.
Yeah, really exciting times. It's all about continuity in university. You see from year to year sides changing. You know, Exeter 1 year, in women's rugby slightly different, but in men's rugby we've seen so much change. You know, this year had real strength from Leeds Beckett and Cardiff Met, whereas the years before maybe not. So there is a change, and to keep that continuity of players, as you say, 18 returning players, it bodes well for the future for this Exeter University side.
Well, a word for Hartpury. Heartbreak today, 35-32, losing in extra time. It's never easy, but what an institution they are. They've absolutely put teams to the sword this season. Of course, Gloucester Hartpury in the Tyrrell's Premier 15s, the ace side getting to the final of Roslyn Park as well. They really are a credit to the institution.
Yeah, they really are, and as you say that, the men's Hartpury team run out as well. I mean, it just shows the strength and depth of, as you say, of the institution. It's brilliant to see, and there's a lot of bright future for all these teams, as we saw there in the huddle. The Exeter, how much it means to these Exeter players. They have been battling away to try and achieve this for a number of years, and brilliant to see them clinch it this year.
Well, there are tears on both sides, but Exeter victorious. It's back to the drawing board for Hartpury, losing in the cruelest of fashions by just one penalty goal after 100 brutal minutes of rugby here in the BUCS Rugby Women's Final, presented by Yoti. Exeter victorious. Still one match to come, of course. The Men's Super Rugby Championship Final kicks off at 5:30 p.m. Well, Hugo Southwell has to get his roller skates on to get back down to pitch side for the pre-match with Joe Burns. But we will be bringing you the presentation. Exeter winning the championship. It is third time lucky for Katie Mattinson. 2 defeats in a Northumbria jersey. She turns that bad luck into the best of luck with this championship victory for Exeter. Well, Hartpury make their way up those famous steps to receive their runners-up medals. Looks of desolation on the faces. They led 5-0, 17-8, 22-13. And Tandy scored to make it 27-18 before the Exeter onslaught did enough to get them back into the match before eventually taking the victory. They were the BUCS Premier South champions, just the one defeat, of course, at the hands of Exeter. But when it goes well for them, they are the most devastating side in the competition. They beat Exeter 57-5, Cardiff Met 47-17, Bristol 99-0, Gloucestershire 135-0, Cardiff Met 41-0, Gloucestershire 82, Oxford 105, Oxford again 83, Bristol 76-12, Loughborough 51-5, and in the semi-final they beat last year's finalists Northumbria 34-7. Plenty of quality, so many involved in the Tyrrell's Premier 15s as well, but today they came a little bit short because Exeter brought their A game and were deserved winners. But huge credit to Hartpury. On another day, another conversion goes over, Tuima doesn't get her hands to it, and those silver Hartpury medals are gold. Hartpury, Premier South champions, BUCS runners-up. They'll be absolutely devastated, but hopefully they'll look back on this as the truly remarkable occasion it was. But to the winners, the spoils, Holly Cunningham, the first to get her gold medal, and what a difference she made when she came on, shoring up that line out. And the embraces on those teammates on a day that they'll never forget, and rightfully so. One of the finest finals we've ever had here at Twickenham. And as I said to Hugo Southwell earlier, as disciplined a forwards performance as I've ever seen. Even when they were 2 scores behind in the match, they maintained their composure. Even when they were chasing tries in the final throes of the game to lead for the first time since the first half. The head stayed cool. A hat-trick from the captain and a player of the match performance from Langi Tuimi. The team shared 11 tries, but it was the boot of Tuimi that told the difference in the end. The pressure from the forward pack leading to the penalty, the only real scoring opportunity of a cagey extra time. and Exeter are the BUCS Women's Rugby Champions. And one for the history books. The players wait. Nielsen has the trophy in hand. A hat-trick and a championship for her. And a remarkable victory for Exeter. And just look what it means to the players. And with 18 of the 22 still eligible next season, who would bet against them doing it one more time? Exeter, the champions, and we'll be back with Hartpury versus Cardiff Met after the break.